Most gardeners believe corn should only be planted in spring, once the soil warms up. But what if you could start in fall and get a harvest that's earlier, stronger, and much more abundant next year? In this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it. Fall planting is a technique inspired by nature itself. In the wild, plants drop their seeds in late autumn, and those seeds rest through winter until the perfect moment in spring. By copying that natural rhythm, we can take advantage of months of quiet soil activity, microbes working, organic matter breaking down, and nutrients preparing themselves for the next season. When spring comes, your corn seeds will already be in place, ready to germinate the moment conditions turn right. That means faster growth, deeper roots, and a head start of several weeks compared to spring sowing. You'll be amazed how tall and thick your corn grows before your neighbors have even finished planting. So, in the next 20 minutes, we'll go step by step through the entire process, from understanding fall soil conditions to choosing the best corn varieties to protecting your seeds through winter. Stick with me, and by next year, you'll have an early, giant corn harvest like never before. Before we start planting anything, it's essential to understand what happens underground during fall and winter, because that's where the real magic begins. Even though temperatures drop and plants above the surface appear dormant, the soil below remains alive. Billions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and tiny decomposers continue working just at a slower pace. They're breaking down leftover roots, fallen leaves, and compost materials into nutrients that will feed your next year's corn crop. When you plant in fall, you're allowing nature to precondition your soil for spring. During winter, the freeze-thaw cycle is one of the most powerful soil builders. When water in the soil freezes, it expands and gently fractures compacted layers. As it thaws, it loosens the soil, creating natural air pockets that improve drainage and root penetration. In other words, frost is your free soil tiller. This natural process transforms dense, tired garden beds into light, fluffy soil without you having to lift a shovel. It's especially helpful for heavy clay soils, which can become brick-hard if tilled only in spring. By letting frost and microbes do the work, you'll get the kind of texture roots love to explore. Now, timing is key. You should plant your corn after the first light frost, but before the ground freezes solid. The goal is to let your seeds rest safely in cool soil, not to germinate right away. To achieve this, watch your soil temperature closely. Once it drops consistently below 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius, the seeds will stay dormant through winter. If you plant too early, the soil might still be warm enough to trigger sprouting, which can doom your seeds when the next cold front hits. Too late, and the ground will be too hard to work with. That sweet spot, cool but not frozen, usually happens in late October or early November for most temperate U.S. zones. It's also a great time to feed your soil. Before planting, spread a thin layer of compost or aged manure and lightly rake it in. You don't need fertilizers now, just organic matter that will decompose slowly over the cold months. As microbes digest it, they'll create humus, dark, nutrient-rich material that holds moisture and feeds roots come spring. If you've ever noticed how lush plants grow near old compost piles or under fallen leaves, that's the same principle. Nature never leaves soil bare, and neither should we. Covering your garden beds with organic matter not only protects against erosion and nutrient loss, but also provides habitat for earthworms and beneficial fungi. So, think of this stage as setting the foundation. Good soil in fall equals less work, fewer weeds, and healthier corn next summer. When you plant in harmony with the season, the soil becomes your silent partner, quietly improving itself while you rest by the fire.
Now that we understand how the soil works through fall and winter, let's talk about choosing the right corn variety and preparing your seeds for a successful early start next year. Not all corn types are created equal. Some are delicate and need warm, steady conditions to germinate. Others are tough, fast-growing, and can handle a cooler start. For fall planting, we're looking for varieties that mature early, ideally within 65 to 75 days, and can sprout quickly once spring soil temperatures rise. Good examples include Early Sunglow, Golden Bantam, Honey Select, and Peaches and Cream. These are tried and true favorites among home gardeners because they germinate reliably and deliver sweet, full ears even after a chilly start. If you prefer traditional field corn or popcorn types, look for early hybrids labeled cold tolerant or northern adapted. When you buy your seeds, aim for fresh stock, either from a reputable seed supplier or saved from healthy plants grown in the previous season. Avoid using seeds from store-bought corn, as they're often hybridized and may not grow true to type. Now, seed preparation. This part might seem small, but it makes a world of difference. First and foremost, your seeds must be completely dry. Moisture triggers germination, which we don't want until spring. Never soak your corn seeds before fall planting. That's a mistake many gardeners make. To protect your seeds through winter, you can give them a light dusting of organic sulfur powder or a mycorrhizal inoculant. The sulfur acts as a natural antifungal barrier, reducing the risk of rot in cold, damp soil. The mycorrhizae, on the other hand, will colonize the seed and surrounding soil once temperatures warm up, helping your corn roots absorb water and nutrients faster. It's like giving your plants a team of microscopic helpers before they even sprout. If you can't find these coatings, don't worry. Dry, clean seed and good soil drainage are often enough. Just avoid touching seeds with wet hands or placing them on damp surfaces during prep. Once your seeds are ready, label them clearly by variety and date, and keep them cool and dry until it's time to plant. A paper envelope inside a sealed jar works perfectly. Store them in a shed or garage where the temperature stays between 40 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Avoid refrigerators, they're too humid. This simple preparation step ensures that your seeds remain dormant all winter and spring to life at just the right time. By combining strong genetics, dryness, and light protection, you're setting up your corn for rapid, uniform germination and strong, healthy stalks come spring. Remember, the biggest difference between an average corn patch and a spectacular one often comes down to this phase: variety choice and seed prep. The right start determines everything that follows. All right, now it's time to get our hands in the soil and actually plant the corn. This is the part where fall gardening starts to feel real. Calm air, fallen leaves, that rich smell of earth preparing to rest for winter. The main goal with fall planting is to position your seeds properly so they can overwinter safely and wake up strong when spring arrives. Let's start with layout. Corn loves space and sunlight. Even in a home garden, give your plants enough room to grow tall and full. Make rows about 30 inches apart and plant the seeds roughly 6 inches apart within each row. Corn is wind-pollinated, which means you'll get better pollination and fuller ears if you plant in blocks of several short rows instead of one long line. Think of a 4x4 grid of rows instead of a single strip along your fence. Next is seed depth. You'll want to plant your corn about 1.5 to 2 inches deep into slightly moist soil. Not too deep. We don't want the seeds trapped in cold clay, but deep enough that they stay protected through winter.
If your soil is dry, you can lightly mist it before planting. But don't overwater. Excess moisture can lead to rot during freezing cycles. After sowing, gently cover the rows with soil and then add a natural insulating layer on top. Straw mulch, shredded leaves, or even pine needles work great. Spread about 1 to 2 inches of material, enough to cushion temperature swings and keep curious birds away. This mulch also prevents erosion and compaction during heavy rains or snow. If you're working in a region that gets harsh winters, you can add a thin biodegradable fabric row cover or frost cloth on top. It adds an extra layer of protection without suffocating the soil. Just make sure to secure it with rocks or garden staples so it doesn't blow away. Once everything is tucked in, you're done watering. Let nature handle the moisture from here. Fall rain and morning dew will settle the soil nicely around your seeds.
You don't need irrigation at this stage. Too much water could actually harm your success. As winter sets in, snow will become your ally. A soft snow blanket insulates the soil, keeping it from freezing solid and maintaining just the right amount of moisture around your seeds. Step back and take a look at your bed. Simple rows, a clean mulch cover, and a sense of patience. This stage doesn't look impressive yet, but underground, everything is aligning for next year's growth. You've just given your corn the gift of time. Months to rest, absorb nutrients, and prepare for a head start in spring. With your corn seeds safely planted and mulched, your main job for the rest of winter is protection and a little bit of patience. The soil and the seasons will handle most of the work, but a few simple steps can make the difference between a thriving spring stand and a patchy, uneven one. The first thing to remember is temperature swings. In most regions, especially in USDA zones 6 and below, winter can bring strong winds, deep freezes, and sudden thaws. To buffer against these extremes, make sure your mulch layer stays intact. 2 inches of straw or shredded leaves act like a natural blanket, keeping the soil temperature steady and protecting the seeds from drying out or freezing solid. If your winters are particularly harsh, long, snowy, and windy, consider adding a frost cloth or row cover over your bed. These lightweight fabrics trap a bit of warmth and prevent soil heaving, which happens when freezing and thawing push seeds upward. Anchor the cover with rocks, sandbags, or landscape staples to keep it secure through storms. Now, one of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is walking on frozen soil. When the ground is icy or saturated, your footsteps can compact the soil layers, squeezing out air pockets that your corn roots will need later. So once your bed is mulched, avoid stepping on it until spring. You can place a few wooden boards across your garden paths if you need access for other chores. You might be tempted to check on your seeds, but remember, nature prefers to be left alone during rest. Still, it's a good idea to inspect the area a few times through winter, especially after heavy winds or melting snow. Look for any exposed patches of soil or places where mulch has blown away, and simply replace the cover by hand. If you live in an area with rodent activity, a light mesh layer or chicken wire laid over the mulch can keep hungry critters from digging into your seed bed. Field mice or voles sometimes explore under snow, but a simple barrier discourages them without harming wildlife. Beyond that, there's really nothing more to do. Don't fertilize, don't water, and don't disturb the soil. Trust the process. Every freeze, every thaw, every slow decomposition of organic matter is quietly improving the structure and fertility beneath your feet. Think of this time as your garden's natural rest period. Just as plants slow down, so should we. While you stay warm indoors, microbes, earthworms, and fungi are preparing your soil for an explosive start in spring. By the end of winter, your corn bed will be perfectly conditioned, soft, aerated, and rich in nutrients. All you'll need to do is remove the mulch and watch the magic begin. As the days grow longer and the soil finally starts to warm, the real reward for your patience begins to appear. Beneath that mulch, your corn seeds have quietly waded through months of cold and darkness. Now, as the ground reaches around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll notice the first bright green shoots pushing through the straw, a sure sign that your early start is paying off. Because your seeds were already in position, they germinate as soon as conditions are right. There's no waiting for the soil to dry out or for the calendar to say spring. Your corn wakes up ahead of schedule, ready to take advantage of every warm day. These seedlings will grow stronger, develop deeper roots, and outcompete weeds before they even have a chance to appear. By early summer, your plants will be tall, thick-stemmed, and already forming ears while many gardeners are just beginning to plant. You'll notice the difference in color, too. Darker green leaves, sturdier stalks, and fuller ears packed with juicy kernels. All that slow winter preparation pays off in healthier, more resilient plants that need less fertilizer and less watering. When harvest time arrives, you'll enjoy not just an early crop, but one with richer flavor and higher yields. Every bite of sweet, golden corn will remind you of the simple power of working with nature's rhythms instead of against them. So this fall, try it for yourself. Plant your corn before winter sets in. Trust the process, and let the soil do its quiet work. Come spring, you'll be standing in a field of early, giant corn, proof that patience truly grows the best harvests.